Beautiful, divine feminine, welcome into today's video. I'm the Pathless Woods, aka the Feminine Chi, and today we're going to be talking all about the do's and the don'ts of money so that you can enter your wealthy woman era in 2025. And I'll be sharing very specific tips, the do's and the don'ts that have worked for me, that have allowed my credit score to go up almost 200 points in the last couple of years and really allowed me to be in the energy of money, in my divine feminine magnetism, to even be open and ready to receive that success that I've been desiring. So without further ado, let's get right into it. You're going to see me peeking at my notes here. So the first is a don't, and we'll be going back and forth between the two. But the don't is don't speak ill of money. Words cast spells, that's why they call it spelling. So we don't want to say, that's too expensive, I can't afford that, because then the universe, they hear you and it decides, okay, she said she can't afford that. So let me keep providing her with experiences and lack of opportunity or stagnancy to prove her right. Okay, energy. Money is energy. That's why they call it currency. So, what we do want to be is solution oriented. How can I afford this? Now, an absolutely great example of being solution oriented and not focusing on the problem is in my Divine Feminine Alchemy one-on-one coaching program. It has a higher price point for some, and I have got on the initial consult call with women who genuinely wanted to hear more, but they saw the price point and they were like, I can't afford that. And I was like, I'll give you a bonus coaching tip right here on this initial consult call. The better thing to say would be, how can I afford this? Because I always want to work with women, and any woman who is ready and willing to invest in themselves, not only will they find a way, but I am open to receive their energy and want to work with them because I see how much they value themselves. Those are the types of clients I want to work with in this transformation. So instead, we talk about payment plans. And I can hear their voices lighten up on the phone because what seemed like a pipe dream, or maybe in a few months when I can afford it, became very reasonable in that moment when they shifted from that problem mindset to solution oriented. Not, I can't afford this, I'll never be able to afford this, maybe next year. No, they said, how can I afford this? And I provided them with the solution. Next up is you want to release limiting beliefs. This goes hand in hand with, I can't afford this. This is never going to happen for me. I've been down this road before. You're spelling yourself. Stop casting spells over yourself. Okay. If you're going to speak anything over yourself, speak positively. So releasing those limiting beliefs often looks like a mindset shift. Everything first starts in the mind. Your thoughts become things. So when you release limiting beliefs around money, around scarcity, around lack, poverty, not having enough, that's when you begin to open doors. Heck, you even start to see windows open before where there were only once walls, okay? Now, the biggest thing you don't want to say is that maybe. And I've talked about this in a previous video, the spirit of doubt and uncertainty. So when you say, maybe next year I'll do this coaching program, or maybe next year I'll invest in that course, maybe not only plants that seed of, I'm uncertain, it's not a yes or an, I'd rather you say no. When you say maybe, you're leaving yourself in limbo and you're not committing to anything. You're non-committal to your goals, okay? And then also that maybe next year, that's procrastination. You're putting it off at a further point, out of sight, out of mind. And now there is absolutely nothing wrong with long-term goals, and we'll get into that later in this video. Next, what you want to do is throw away old items. Yes, sis, those panties you've had since 2012. While I love myself a good pair of period panties, because every girl needs one for that heavy flow day, okay? If you know, you know. But if you have several, if anything is wholly or torn or ripped and you're just holding on to it for sentimental reasons, let it go, okay? If there is a sentimental attachment to a previous toxic relationship, get rid of it. If you can exchange it for monetary value, great. And then use that money to invest in yourself. But just having old items taking up space in your closet, in your headspace, in your home, it not only is clinging on to the old energy of stagnancy that you're trying to release, but once again, you're communicating as that divine feminine to the universe that I have everything I need. Because I say this quote in almost every video, but I love it. When you ask God or the universe for something, the universe responds with, what are you willing to sacrifice in return? So when you're wanting a new wardrobe, maybe a new luxury wardrobe or a new business wardrobe, so you feel the most confident version of yourself when you meet with clients or you go on an interview, throw away the ones that you are no longer wearing. Some of you may think, well, I don't have that many options. And so there's that scarcity mindset. If you think, if I throw this away, I'm not going to have a black shirt anymore, you're still in that old stagnant energy of I don't deserve new things. Money must not be coming because I must really need this 8-year-old black shirt with a hole or a bleach stain right in the corner. Whatever it is, you know what I'm talking about. We've all done it. This has been a game changer for me. Not only do I spiritually feel lighter when I begin to throw out old stagnant items, but almost every time I do, something new comes in, a donation from one of my wonderful YouTube viewers, a client booking, a consult call for my coaching program. I'm telling you, game changer. Please get rid of the old stagnant items. Okay, the next thing you want to do is invest in quality over quantity. This goes in all areas of your life. Maybe instead of ordering Grubhub 5 times a week, you go out to eat one time, but you go to a 5-star restaurant, or you just go to your favorite restaurant that has a very luxurious feel to it. Surround yourself in the environments with the people and with the things of the life that you see for yourself. Even if it's only once a week, once a month, make it happen, because surrounding yourself in the environment releases that scarcity. You're getting into that magnetic energy of the other people around you who are making the money you desire to make. And you're letting the universe and God know, I'm open, ready, and willing to receive. I'm not scared that if I treat myself to one meal a month at a nice restaurant, it's going to make or break the bank. We're releasing that old mindset. And the same goes with your wardrobe. You want 100% organic cotton. You want linens. You may have seen this viral video going around where they compare the frequency of an unalive body being at about a 15, and polyester and other fake clothing is right at that level 15 frequency along with an unalive body. Whereas 100% organic cotton and linens are at 100 or above. Don't quote me on that. I will put a disclaimer over the screen with the proper numbers because I'm going off memory now. But the point is, you want to invest in quality items. So instead of having 20 shirts, maybe you only have 5, but they're high quality. This is, if you take nothing else from this video, take this, because we live in this social media age where we think more is more. And most of the time, or more is better, when most of the time more is simply that, it's just more. If you have 1 million followers, but they're not converting into sales or clients, they're just likes. They don't translate into currency or money, okay? And if you're just doing it for the passion, totally fine. But if you're trying to live a financially free lifestyle, you're an entrepreneur, you want the time you're investing into your creations to lead to money, dollar signs in your bank account. Comment 333 if this is resonating with my divine feminines. This was a game changer for me because some of the best people, the most connected people in my network in high places who have connected me with celebrities as I was teaching yoga or in business, these people who have the best connections have like 200 to 500 followers on Instagram. Whereas I have people, acquaintances who have 500,000, a million, and they don't have that same network or net worth. They may have a lot of eyes or monitoring spirits on them, sponsorships. And if you can convert those people, great. But don't get caught up in seeing more as being better, because sometimes more is just that. It's just more. Like I said, some of those great network, high net worth people don't have a large following, but they are quality over quantity. So let that spill over into all areas of your life. Next up, what we don't want to do is gossip. We don't want to speak bad on others. One, your emotions, especially as a divine feminine, a master of your waters, your emotions are energy in motion, meaning they must first pass through you in order to send them out to someone else. So you always hear people saying, careful what you wish on others, it'll come back to you. That's the karma version of it. But no one thinks about the fact that it's almost like sipping scalding hot tea. In order to be angry and send negative energy, jealousy, envy to someone else, that energy has to first travel through your energetic points, your chakras, before it reaches the intended target. So you're poisoning yourself in order to just send a little bit of hate to someone else. Now, I know I'm not perfect, and sometimes you can see a little clip on YouTube and make a comment about a celebrity. It's not small things like that, but it's getting wrapped up in speaking more about others, comparing yourself to others, and not focusing on you. Only speak onto others what you want to come onto you. We'll leave it there. And I did a video actually about this, the spirit of envy and the spirit of jealousy. I will also link that above and in the description. When you are elevating, not everyone can come with you, like luggage on a small plane. And that spirit of envy and jealousy comes out a lot in people as they see you elevating. They will either be inspired or they will be jealous. And it is all a reflection of them and their own insecurities and has nothing to do with you, okay? So don't gossip. Next up, I already spoiled it, but don't compare yourself to others. Comparison truly is the thief of joy. We are all on our own divine timelines. Even sometimes that rejection from that dream job or that ideal client you wanted was indeed your protection from God, from the universe, okay? Do not get caught up in where someone else is at on their trajectory. Do not get caught up in your own age. Be aware, set goals, but don't get caught up on, I want to be this by 30. I need to be this by 40. If I'm not married, and trees do not think I want to have this many leaves by the time I'm 30. Be more like nature. Let things come to you, especially my divine feminine. You are magnetism. Magnetize and attract what is meant for you. We're not chasing anymore in 2025 as we enter our wealthy woman era. Leave it in the comments. Wealthy woman in 2025. I claim it. So comparison, the only exception here, there is a caveat. The only time comparison is great is if it's inspiration, if you are using it as motivation, in which case, screenshot it. If you see a girl with a dream body, and maybe at first you're a little triggered because you're like, damn, I really wish I looked like that. But then you feel inspired. Feed off that inspiration, screenshot it, create a vision board, heck, take it to Pinterest, create your dream body vision board or your luxury lifestyle, whatever that is for you. See it, create it. Don't feel jealous or triggered. Or when you do, reflect on why that is and how great you are, because you are. And the fact that you're alive and even able to see it means you have the opportunity to get there. Okay. Next up, what we do want to do is set goals, both long and short-term goals. Get specific about these goals. What really works for me, especially with YouTube, is I write out a 7-day schedule. So I may only do it 2 to 3 days in advance. That way I have room to maneuver. But when I put 1 to 2 things that I want to get done on YouTube per day, whether it's just editing a thumbnail, coming up with titles, etc., I almost always exceed the goal that I set, which is why I only put it for 2 to 3 days in advance. Because if I write out the whole week, I end up finishing the week by Wednesday. And it's not to put pressure on yourself, but set those 1 to 2 goals. If there's something so cathartic about checking it off of your list, like, yes, I did that. You can see your goals, you set them, and now you're working towards them, not chasing them, but just executing. And so I have a great story with this. A goal I set for myself in college a long time ago was that when I graduated, I wanted to do 2 things. I wanted to jump out of an airplane because I don't have a fear of heights, but I have a fear of falling. I love roller coasters. I love hiking up thousands of feet in the air. But you put me at the edge of a cliff with no harness around me, I'm terrified. So I wanted to face that fear, which is a whole nother one. Getting past your comfort zone, acting in spite of fear. It's not about not being afraid, but acting in spite of fear. So I wanted to jump out of an airplane. And my second goal was I want to move out of my home state within 3 to 4 years of graduation. So I graduated in 2011. And it took me 3 years because I began modeling and working a 9 to 5 at a law firm as a paralegal and balancing this TV host lifestyle and promoting. I was doing so many things. I was a boys basketball coach, all while working a 9 to 5. So it got to the point where I said, if you want to do this time sensitive thing like modeling, you have to put your all in it, and you have to get into an environment that is going to be cohesive, a conduit or a conduit for your dream. So I told myself I have to move. In 2014, I scheduled that tandem skydive. To this day, that was the most exhilarating thing I've ever done in my life. If you've skydove before, leave it in the comments. Let them know. It's not a feeling of a roller coaster, although I do love roller coasters. It's not the feeling of your gut in your chest or dropping. You feel like you are flying on top of the world and you can do anything. And I truly think facing that huge fear was the catalyst for everything else that was to unfold. Because fast forward 3 months later, and I moved across the country, the entire other side of the country, to live in California. I'm still here 10 years later. Best decision I ever made. So set long-term goals, set short-term goals. The short-term goals looks like setting up your weekly schedule for work, maybe for rest, for self-care, for family time, but also set those long-term goals of, I want to move out of this city by this date, and make that a hard line in the sand for you, because you will close your eyes, open them, and 10 years will have went by. And while I don't think age matters, age is mind over matter. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter. Time will pass you by. It's a trickster like that if you do not set those goals. All right, next up is don't entertain peasants. And I'm not talking about a measure of wealth here. I'm talking about vibration, energy. Your energy is currency. Careful who you spend it on. Not only should not everyone have access to you, especially as you're elevating, solitude will be your best friend, but an empress doesn't respond to low vibrational people. Period. That's the Libra in me. That's the Empress in the tarot deck, the major arcana. The Empress does not get off of her throne, come down those stairs to bicker with nonsense. If it's not serving your greatest and highest good, ignoring it would be your best bet. I learned this the hard way, especially with YouTube. I used to let it trigger me when trolls would come on my videos and just say a bunch of negative things. It was so much easier for me to focus on the negative things they were saying than all of the positive feedback that I was receiving. Easier said than done, I know, but this is a game changer. And I shared about this in my Dark Feminine Energy live last week. I will link that above as well as in the description. So it's just true that misery loves company, and you cannot win when you're engaging with a troll, whether that be in the physical or in the virtual world. I always like to say, don't feed the trolls. Don't feed them. They'll only grow larger, okay? Haters, trolls, monitoring spirits, whatever you refer to them as, you know exactly who I'm talking about. Sometimes this can even be family members who are triggered by your elevation, your success, and they know your triggers the best. So they'll say something to try to bring you back. Now, this is where you want to be unbothered. And I talk about this in that Dark Feminine Energy video. This matters so much because when someone sends negative energy to you, you want to send that ish right back to them. You don't want to catch it and then sit in it and just hold on to it. When you are unbothered and you say nothing, your silence, they have that moment where they have to sit there and reflect on what they just said. And the fact that it didn't stick to you, it came right back to them. So in those situations where you're triggered, two things to do. One is either be completely silent. Silence speaks volumes, especially when you're dealing with a troll or a hater. Or the second option, if you have to say something, respond with a question. Is everything okay? Simple. So let them stew in their own shit, basically, is what I'm saying. Now, I love this. There's a tarot reader on YouTube, and she has community guidelines up. And one of my favorite community guidelines I've ever seen on YouTube, she had, and it said, no one has to know your insecurities. Whew, that is a whole word, because anytime someone is talking negatively about you or negatively about others, it is always a reflection of them, as I've said many times. It is a reflection of their own insecurities, okay? So when they say something negative, they're just letting everyone on the internet know what it is they're not secure about, okay? Okay, so now for the last do and the last don't, and we're going to wrap this up. Do be generous. Do be resourceful, okay? Investing in yourself is one of the best things you can do. And that goes back with the short and long-term goals. Investing in a coach, a mentor, a financial advisor, that is how the wealthy, the rich spend their money. They spend it on personal development, self-development, not on really expensive cars and bags and looking the role. Thoughts become things. The mind first, and then your 3D environment will reflect that luxury. Everyone has to start somewhere, especially if you're not old money. You don't come from money, okay? It's gonna be a little extra work involved. So we don't want to be stingy or cheap, okay? I've struggled with this because I grew up with a very frugal father, and I glamorize that because I like the fact that he was able to save, and now he does really well for himself. I have to keep in mind my parents had me young. However, that relationship with money was cultivated for me very early, seeing him be cheap or not want to spend. And that is something that I've had to work to break myself. While it made me very resourceful, which is a great quality in business to have, it also put me in a scarcity lack mindset in which I would hold on to the money when I got it, not want to spend it on myself or be generous with others because I was worried, I was afraid I wasn't going to have enough to pay my bills, etc. Once I released that mindset and I shifted from stingy or cheap into generous, and I spend on other women's businesses because I want to receive in my own business. Money is energy. Money is a currency. When you give it out with a generous spirit, it comes back to you tenfold. That is a game changer. I would definitely recommend that if you're still here at this point in the video, please do like it, share it with a friend who may need to hear it. Maybe you have an accountability partner as you and your friend are elevating to your greatest and highest goals. So 2 things I'm going to offer you. One is my second tier on Patreon just launched on the Double Door 1111 portal just this past Monday. I shared over there, not only are there 50 plus posts from the Chosen Tribe tier, but I shared an almost 10-minute 50 audio affirmations to release money blocks and create a healthy relationship around wealth and money, attracting in that success that you deserve. There are also journal prompts there, and we're going to be talking all things divine feminine embodiment, beauty tips, subliminals and affirmations, meditation, how to transform your body. There's going to be an entire money mindset series just like this over on Patreon. So do join the Feminine Chi. You can find it in the description as well as the pinned comment. And if you're liking my energy, you're liking what I have to talk about, and you're thinking about investing in yourself, don't hesitate to schedule your consult call. Click the link in my bio, schedule your consult call with me so we can talk about what your goals are, what you're trying to reach in your feminine elevation, in your wealthy woman era, and how we can work together to make that happen with one-on-one coaching. This is a transformational 12-week program. I would not recommend it if I did not think that it could bring you the results that you've been waiting for. So until next time, my beautiful divine feminines, I am sending you so much love, peace, and feminine chi. Namaste. You Lord, oh Lord, you Lord, for some